This playoff season was pretty special. It only took a week and a half to actually get a game worth a damn. Finally, I thought I was going to go stir crazy with all of the dick stompings and shit shows on display. Now it's all said and done, and we have a championship at hand. But enough talk, let's see how everyone else did. Think I thought this team had any chance of winning? The fuck was I thinking? This team was an absolute train wreck against the Steelers. Piss poor offensive line play, constant turnovers, Jay Ajayi using up all of his MP points during the regular season, and an open door defense. It's quite obvious that they looked better in the season because they were playing mostly garbage teams on a cakewalk schedule. This little Dolphin was KIA on the cold tundra before the first quarter ended. I believe that Al Davis sold his soul to the devil in the 1960s, and he's now collecting on the debt. The football gods did everything in their power to defecate on the hopes and dreams of Raiders fans over a 3-week span. Injuries were handed to the Raiders like parking tickets at airport terminals, resulting in them starting a third-string quarterback who shat himself so much that he should wear Huggies the next time he enters a game. But at least you have a reward for your efforts. A potential move to Las Vegas. This was one of the most Detroit seasons imaginable. Get your fans hyped up for the playoffs with a 9-4 swing, then dick punch them by losing 4 straight games. Their performance against the Seahawks was less of a matchup and more of a cringe fest. It got so bad that NBC tried to one-up them on the cringe factor by posting shitty NFL memes. It was a disaster all around. Lions gonna lion. We have finally learned that the Giants no longer have a magical horseshoe shoved up their ass. Eli Manning went full derp in the fourth quarter, and their vaunted defense was picked apart by Genghis Khan Rodgers. I will give you credit. You at least tried to keep it competitive for 3 quarters, unlike the other wildcard teams. Have a boat party. Hooray, you won a playoff game. What do you want, a fucking medal? You beat an injury-riddled team playing their third-string quarterback in one of the worst games I've ever seen. That game deserves an asterisk behind it. Unfortunately, you then had to play a real team. The Chiefs continue to disappoint, and Andy Reid pads his legacy of choking because Alex Smith can't throw more than 10 yards without pissing himself. The game was less of a bludgeoning and more of a slow, boring death by field goals. In other news, Eric Fisher has now surpassed Stan Kroenke for most hated man in Missouri. What happened to all of that shit-talking that Seattle fans did before the playoffs started? Where the hell was the team against Atlanta? The offense blew chance after chance, and Matt Ryan turned your defense into the Legion of Bitches. You couldn't get his balls closer to your face if he tried. This is why I wasn't bullish on Seattle in the playoffs. Without Earl Thomas, this team got exposed pretty damn badly. Congratulations! Your team squandered a stellar 13-3 season by means of yet another brutal playoff defeat. The offense performed admirably after a sluggish start, but your defense decided it would be best to collapse at the worst possible time. I mean, how the hell does Jared Cook get that goddamn wide open with 5 seconds left? The Packers made you look like a Division III defense, and that's why Jerry Jones has been restrained from jumping off of his scoreboard. I'll admit, I was wrong. You did not play down to your competition. Well done. Step forward and receive your glorious reward. The perennial tradition of New England making you into their bitch. This postseason, we have learned that the secret to quarterback immortality is by abandoning your family and converting to Scientology. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers' thetan levels weren't high enough to counter the Packers' dumpster fire of a defense. The Falcons were the worst possible matchup for them, and they got bitch-slapped all game long. Here's to another wasted year of your impeccable career, Aaron. God, what a terrible playoffs. What were there, 1, maybe 2 good games? And the NFL's wondering why their ratings are down. With that being said, it's finally time to meet our contenders for the 51st Lombardi Trophy. New England once again dominating the AFC. Yawn. They didn't even need to cheat this year. They played the Texans, and Antonio Brown probably live-streamed the Steelers coaches' meetings. Regardless, the Patriots are as dangerous as ever. They are, as always, led by the Death Star known as Tom Brady. Or is he Darth Vader? I don't know, but he continues to obliterate the hopes and dreams of untold millions of football fans everywhere. The man could make a high school team look like all-pros, and age hasn't slowed him down one bit. He is complemented by the bruising LeGarrette Blount, pass-catching specialist Dion Lewis, and the premier monopoly of diminutive white wide receivers, led by Julian Edelman and Chris Hogan. They are missing Gronk, but Martellus Bennett is still a solid threat at tight end. Their offensive line is an insular curtain led by veteran Nate Solder, and their defense has quietly developed into one of the best shutdown units in football. Pro Bowlers Dante Hightower and Devin McCourty, Rob Ninkovich, and Malcolm Butler are the highlights of this well-oiled machine. They also have the first cyborg player in Steven Gostkowski as their kicker. Once again, it's Boston against the world. Nobody outside of New England wants this team to win. Unless you want Tom Brady to give the ultimate fuck you to Roger Goodell for that cringeworthy Deflategate debacle. That sounds like a great idea. Congratulations, Atlanta! You didn't even need to pipe in fake crowds because the city finally has realized that they actually have a professional football team. And what a team it is! You have been blessed with one of the best offenses in recent memory, led by Matt Ryan. This season, he has emerged from the doldrums of mediocrity to become one of the great juggernauts of the game. Anyone who had him on his fantasy team will tell you that this was a completely different Matty Ice than they were anticipating. The safe, cautious Ryan was gloriously replaced with a gunslinging showstopper. Refusing to let him take the show is Devontae Freeman, an elite dual-threat running back who can beat you with brute force or Teflon-like elusiveness. Tevin Coleman makes for an outstanding complement that could be starting for a good deal of teams. At wideout, they are featuring one of the best in the game, Julio Jones, who has emerged as a Herculean god with his game-breaking feats. For as good as he is, even the Patriots will have trouble trying to stop Jones from stretching the field. If they choose to double cover him, they have Mohamed Sanu, Austin Hooper, and Cleveland Browns cast-off Taylor Gabriel, who has emerged as one of the true X-Factors on this offense as formidable weapons. On the O-line, Jake Matthews and another former Cleveland Brown in Alex Mack take the charge. I was worried about their defense coming into the playoffs, but they have been up to the task so far, shutting down two solid offenses in Seattle and Green Bay. Look out for Vic Beasley and Deion Jones to blow up Brady and become the heroes for the rest of Football Nation. They've also got Dwight Freeney as a situational defensive end and 41-year-old Matt Bryant as their kicker. So here's to hoping they can finish their careers at the highest peak. It's the Evil Empire against the return of the Dirty Bird. Darth Belichick versus young Padawan Dan Quinn. Who's going to win? To be fair, this could go either way, but I feel that the Falcons' potent offensive attack will just be too much for the Patriots' defense to handle. I'm expecting this game to come down to the wire and give a 34-31 victory for those birds in black. Matt Ryan is hailed as Super Bowl MVP. Roger Goodell orders hundreds of statues built of him in Atlanta city limits, and the Falcons fan base enjoys their first true success in years. Here's to hoping you don't become the 12th man. Please comment below on how much of a Falcons bandwagoner I am with this prediction.
You know, this week you told us, but you don't say that freely that often, you felt this was a very special team. Why?
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow